On her third day at work, Amaka finally felt relaxed. First 2 days had been stiff, smiles that didn't quite land, welcome on board said a little too many times. But by Wednesday, it felt different. People laughed more, someone invited her to lunch, they went to a buka across the road, plastic chairs, cold coke, office people loosening their ties, literally and emotionally. That was when she heard it. The space is very chill, oh, one of them said. Our office is not like those toxic companies. Everyone nodded. Someone added, here you were open, you can talk freely. That sentence is dangerous, especially in Nigeria. Maka laughed and relaxed. She talked about her previous job, how the manager used to shout, how deadlines were unrealistic, how people were afraid to speak up. Then she said it casually, no malice. At least here it seems management actually. She didn't know that the woman sitting across from her was the manager's cousin, or that the guy scrolling on his phone had been warned for talking so much, or that the lunch conversations in that office had a way of showing up elsewhere. By Friday, her supervisor called her in, very calm, almost friendly. So, how are you finding the company so far? Amaka smiled, said it was fine. He nodded slowly, then she said, just a small advice, be careful with comparisons. So people may misunderstand you. She walked out confused. Well, who did she compare? What did she say? The friendliness didn't disappear. That's the funny part. People still smiled, still invited her to lunch, but something shifted. She noticed fewer details shared with her, meetings that she wasn't invited to anymore, her ideas suddenly already discussed, nothing dramatic, just quiet adjustments. That's how it usually works in many Nigerian offices. Friendliness is real, but it's layered. People are warm, they joke, they gist, but hierarchy is heavy. Loyalty lines are invisible, and information travels sideways, not just up. Early on, what you should observe is not what people say, but who says it and who stays quiet. Who talks freely around home. Notice whose jokes land and whose don't. Pay attention to who people complain about because that tells you who. What to avoid? Comparing your own place to the new one. Talking about management even positively. Oversharing opinions before you understand alliances. And assuming lunch is neutral territory. It rarely is. And when you should stay quiet. In your first few months, silence is not weakness. It's data collection. You can be friendly without being revealing. You can listen without agreeing. You can laugh without adding your own commentary. Maka eventually learned. She adjusted, did her work, built 1 or 2 trusted relationships slowly, but she always remembered that lunch. The office didn't stop being friendly. She just learned what friendliness actually meant.